Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So today we have some very insane updates regarding the absolute mess that is the English voice acting scene currently. The other day I made a video talking about an effort by many voice actors to put pressure on their peers and the companies they work for to join an American union. Now that was done under the guise of protecting these voice actors from AI. However, that seems like a facade as more people have dug into what this stuff is all about, and these voice actors are getting pressed very hard. They're getting fact-checked, they're getting community noted, they're getting mocked, and now they're getting very angry about it. So a lot of the voice actors were very high and mighty with their virtue signaling about the topic a few days ago are now seething. They are crashing out and even going after YouTubers and also regular viewers like yourself, claiming you're too stupid to understand this stuff. Well, let's dive into everything with a quick rundown of what happened the other day. So we began with this voice actor who is no longer with Genshin Impact after taking a 6-month break to protest against efforts by Hoyoverse. They wanted to have Hoyoverse sign an interim contract with SAG AFTRA, which is an American union. They didn't do that, and after 6 months of not providing any work, well, guess what? You get replaced. And this guy was replaced by a voice actor named Jacob Takanashi, who's based in Tokyo. Now, as soon as he announced that he's taking over this role, people from the industry, including peers from Genshin Impact, started attacking him. Dozens of voice actors jump him, making wild claims like this. This person, for example, calling him diabolical and that he's doing this all for clout. Well, they got hit with a community note here where it describes how this voice actor, Nathan Noakes, credit to him, he actually reached out to Takanashi about the subject, and it turns out he didn't even know this whole boycott and protest was a thing. Obviously, because he's based in Japan, and of course, it makes all these voice actors look really stupid, but it didn't matter because they kept going. They kept lying and gaslighting to the public. We have another voice actor here showing a completely irrelevant tweet where Jacob Takanashi just says, if you're over relying on AI for your voices, the quality might be bad. A pretty fair statement, but they show this to falsely claim that he was aware of this protest since 2023, which doesn't even make sense, as pointed out by yet another community note, because that whole strike against AI and all this stuff began about a year later. So this is completely irrelevant and rightfully got hit with a note. And then we talked about this last time where SAG AFTRA on their official Twitter account came out and cheered on Anaris Quinones, who was the voice of Mirako from My Hero Academia. Now you can see since the last video, she's gone private. They basically made her the poster child of this whole thing. And yeah, it didn't work out. She got absolutely blasted. And of course, you can see the note on this as well, which is pointing out that there is a financial incentive to get more people to be in their union. And that is something a lot of people think is going on here. They're trying to get this interim contract and have it extended to a long one. So all of these voice actors now have to be a part of the union, and MiHoYo might be held to some responsibilities, at least financially. It's a whole mess. Now, of course, people are also pointing out that in wake of videos like mine and other people talking about the situation, some Chinese players have been made aware of what's going on here, and they don't like it. And they're starting to boycott Genshin Impact as a result because, yeah, think about it. It's pretty offensive, isn't it? You have these Americans trying to hold a Chinese company hostage and making them join an American union, which, by the way, as we'll see, they probably can't join even if they wanted to. But let's see some updates. So last time we talked about this individual, Corina, who is the voice of Paimon from Genshin Impact. They made this passive-aggressive response to Takanashi, saying this wasn't a passing of the torch. And then they said this that also got hit with a note, saying there's a huge difference when you take the role of an actor who's striking for AI protections. You're no castmate of mine. And as the note points out, Takanashi didn't even know about this whole thing. And then they made this admitting that they're scabbing. They're doing the exact thing they're trying to accuse Takanashi of doing, of basically slipping in and taking the roles of people who are protesting. And guess what? Corina here has been working all throughout all of this while she's judging others. Because in her eyes, it's okay because she has personal reasons for it, which is a load of BS. You don't know anything about Takanashi's life. From his own bio, I can see He's married with children. I mean, do you think he might need a steady source of income? Because voice acting work already doesn't bring in much money. So I think a father and a husband probably should take some opportunities to get jobs, especially when he didn't even know the boycott was a thing in the first place. But Corina is having a massive crash out, and it's really funny. Okay, so she went to her TikTok, and it looks exactly how you would expect, right? And in this particular TikTok, about 2 minutes long, she is crashing out. I mean, this is a legitimate crash out. She is going absolutely nuts. She's going mask off. She's making it clear this was never about AI. It was just about forcing people into the union. And she's very mad at you for questioning any of this. Let's listen.
Okay, here's the thing. If voice actors, both non-union and union, in a video game want a game to go union, the game should go union.
Well, if that's the case, but that's not the case here. Doesn't sound like Hoyoverse has any interest in that. Doesn't sound like people like Takanashi have any interest in that. So yeah, that's a completely irrelevant claim. You're acting like people are trying to prevent this pair up of SAG AFTRA with these parties who are not a part of their union yet. They don't want to be from the way it sounds, but they're trying to claim that that's what's going on here, that they want to be a part of it. More gaslighting.
Nobody else's opinion matters. That's it. And YouTubers don't know anything. YouTubers don't know anything. They're not voice actors. They've never been in my industry. They don't know what my industry is about. They don't know anything about SAG. They don't know anything about being a non-union actor either.
Well, from my observations, I'm pretty sure you could find someone off the street who has a little more coherency than people like this who are just absolutely crashing out. I think the average person can understand how a union works and how someone might not want to be a part of a union. If they don't want to be a part of a union, then they shouldn't be a part of a union. It's really that simple. And you're trying to put pressure on these people. It's not hard to understand what's going on here, especially with the help of things like community notes. There's sources out there disproving every single thing these voice actors were trying to accomplish or were pretending they wanted to accomplish at the beginning of all this. It was under the guise of protecting people from AI. And again, we'll see some more sources later in this video. That whole protection of AI, that whole concern, that faux concern of theirs, complete BS. It was all about pushing the union.
Stop telling me to go to liars. Liars. They are paid to lie to you. Also, I'm sorry. They have more incentive to lie. They have more of an incentive to lie because idiots like you fall for their shit and they get paid for that.
You hear that? You're idiots, according to her. That's a very bold strategy, right? Think about it. Calling everyone who's questioning what's going on with you and these other voice actors idiots. It's a bold strategy. I'm sure MiHoYo loves this. They love one of their voice actors, an inconsequential one, by the way, causing all these issues and insulting potential customers. Really great strategy. And I love how she keeps saying lying, lying, lying. The only people lying are these voice actors. It's literally confirmed. You guys are gaslighting people, and it's really obvious. They got too greedy, okay? For a long time, this whole thing with the AI protections, it's been going on, and people just believe them. People just took them at their word and said, well, clearly, I mean, that's why would they lie about all this stuff? No, they're misleading people with the concerns about AI, and now they're trying to go too far with it, and people are questioning it, and look what happens. The crash outs ensue. They start lying. They start doubling down, tripling down. All of these accounts of these voice actors, every other tweet they're either making themselves or sharing have community notes on them. They don't even care about the truth. They're just trying to bully people into accepting their point of view and their goals. And again, I'd love to see like what these YouTubers are lying about. They don't mention anything. They just start saying up they're liars. Trust me on that.
Hello? God forbid. I want my industry to actually, like, I don't know, function, and that everybody gets paid and everybody gets, like, health care.
Well, that's interesting that you're so concerned about people getting paid, but then all of you are asking Takanashi to step down or that he's not entitled to receiving any payment or getting opportunities, which, by the way, this person's taking advantage of, and they're getting paid, and they're continuing to work with Genshin Impact. It's all just mind-numbing. These people, they're so used to getting away with lying, they don't know how to function when they're faced with the consequences of being a habitual liar.
Did you know that, like, once things become union, people get paid a lot more? So people are like, oh, but, you know, then some non-union actors will have to join the union. Yeah, they'll be able to, easily, because they'll get paid more.
Well, if they want to join the union, what's holding them back right now? Like, explain to me what we're all missing here. You're acting like these people are being forced to not join the union. I think if they wanted to join, they could, these individual English voice actors, but it sounds like some people don't want to, and that's freedom of choice here. It doesn't seem like it's a choice with this individual.
Also, there are options that the union has to help pay for those things. There are options to help people pay for the union dues within SAG, but you don't know that. Oh my.
Well, you're putting extra work on people. Like, do you not understand? Like, you're burdening them with these extra things to worry about, and then you're saying, well, there's a way to maybe figure that out. Well, maybe they don't want to go down that route in the first place. Have you ever considered that?
God, it's almost like you're not an actor. It's almost like you're not a voice actor. And neither are these YouTubers.
Oh, boy.
But bottom line is...
Yeah, you know what? Again, as always, you don't have to be a voice actor to understand this situation. It's just like when there's certain controversies involving things. Like, I talk about this with certain video games, right? You don't have to play a video game to understand when one of the developers comes out and says, like, kill all Republicans or something. You don't need to play the game they made to understand that was a bad thing to do. You don't have to be a voice actor to understand what's going on here is weird, and people like this are weird, and they're trying to push this very hard under the guise of AI protection, which, notice, and you'll see the last 10 seconds or so in this TikTok, AI is never mentioned. It's never mentioned in this crash out. So true colors have been shown.
Is that both non-union actors and union actors in a video game want it to go union and have wanted it to go union for a long time. So nobody else's opinion that is super fucking wrong anyway matters. Hope.
Insufferable. So as they're saying, anyone's opinion other than our own doesn't matter. Yeah, that is classic manipulative, narcissist type behavior. She doesn't want you hearing any dissenting opinions because they're not qualified to see this situation, when clearly anyone looking at this can see there's some issues here and these people are getting caught in their own lies. But thank God for the comment section here. They are eating her alive, saying Paimon's 6.0 recast is gonna be lit, fam. Damn, Paimon annoying in-game and in real life. So it's not about AI anymore. Stop going to liars. And the sources are from SAG themselves. Can't wait for the recast. 2025 is crazy. Never had Paimon getting herself canceled for bullying a scab while simultaneously being a scab herself on the cards. But here we are. Notice the lack of mentioning AI. I thought this was about AI. There is only the focus on wages and what actors, quote unquote, wants. And then, last one we'll read here. I'm all for the union, but why bully Kanish voice actor when he's based in Japan and doesn't know about this? All these very good comments. I'm glad to see people calling her out on her BS with the stop licking the boot description of her TikTok. Pathetic. But let's move back to another voice actor from Genshin who's involved in this, or at least with Nikkei. Kayli Mills here. They had some pretty epic crash outs the other day. We saw one of them earlier in the video, but she has continued. She has been hit with countless community notes, but it hasn't stopped her. And today she decided to go even further, saying all of this nonsense. Games signing the interim is the best outcome for all actors. That said, non-union games do very much have the option of adding AI protections into their current contracts. See the Nava voices rider, and while many of them do, some still refuse to. There are reasons why having SAG behind you is legally preferable, including the ability to go to bat for you and pay legal fees you'd otherwise incur yourself or be unable to afford. but non-union protections are still leagues better than no protections. There's a group of actors working hard behind the scenes to make union membership costs more accessible as well. We all want that. We all want this. Speaking for every single voice actor. Again, the narcissism is out of control. And then down here you can see, I am not comfortable working on any game that refuses to add AI protections, and I think it's important to draw the line somewhere for the future of every single one of my current and future colleagues. Of course, referring to MiHoYo as a company that is not protecting against AI, right? That's what they're claiming. You can already see at the bottom of your screen, you know what's coming. What is it? Yeah, it's a community note, because of course. And it says this: Kayli Mills is still working on Goddess of Victory, Nikkei. During the strike, Nikkei has been temporarily changing their voice actors who participated in the strike ever since the strike started. So we've talked about 2 voice actors, and 2 of them are scabs. Openly. Is this not insane? The shamelessness of it all? Completely ridiculous. And I'm glad people are raining down on this tweet, sharing many different things. Right here, to sum this all up, some Chinese individuals are claiming that under Chinese law and also under the policies of MiHoYo, there's already AI protections in place. Yeah, this whole thing is pretty much worthless. And we kind of already got the memo here that there is not a real concern about AI. It's a Trojan horse to try to get people to join the union for the benefit of the union, right? And then we go further. SAG AFTRA apparently has inked deals with AI companies before. So it shows how much they care. And not to mention, as this person points out, the entry fees and also how they take a portion of your earnings and yada, yada, yada. On top of that, this is a good way of looking at this. They're trying to hold companies like MiHoYo hostage, where either they have to accept these union members and force their own employees to be a part of this American union. And of course, SAG would then collect revenue from that. Or these companies do not work with SAG, and now SAG wants to put penalties on them using largely the interim contracts. So they really want to have these companies by the balls. And then you see another quote here saying, yes, AI protection, definitely not about monopolizing the game industry. Why are you locking the reply, Kayli? Afraid of criticisms? I thought you wanted to be on the right side of history. That's what she said the other day. She wants to be on the right side of history, which is unbelievably cringe given the circumstances. And also some people have pointed out that when it comes to a Chinese company like MiHoYo, they might not even have the ability to join an American union. They can't do it, or they can't even make agreements because of conflicting Chinese law. And I don't think that's really surprising given the fact we're talking about a Chinese company that is, of course, under the pressure of the Chinese government, why would they ever want their companies to be making agreements with an American union? That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But of course, remember the original voice actor that started all this, the person who went on strike for 6 months and was replaced by Takanashi? Well, they shared this latest post. In fact, they're sharing all of this misinformation and all these community noted tweets. They don't care. They're absolutely desperate and they're freaking out. But let's look around a little more at other people who have come out of the woodwork to attack Takanashi. You can see Kuribo. Unfortunately, this guy's fall off continues to be pretty epic. He said this: with respect, tensions would decrease significantly if you recognize and spoke publicly on the fact that voice actors aren't bullying you. If you truly didn't know about the strike, say so. If you did, say so. But voice actors are going to keep getting attacked until then. So number one, we know the answer to this. You just don't like the answer. But also up here, what an insane thing to say. They're trying to make Takanashi look like the bad guy. Like he's the one responsible for these voice actors getting flack after they attacked him. And then this weirdo is telling Takanashi he needs to go out and tell everyone he's not being bullied. This is like getting called to the principal's office and you, the bully and the victim are walking in together, and right before they open the door, the bully turns to the victim and says, "You better tell them I'm not bullying you." That's exactly what's going on here. And yes, it is bullying. Okay? What else do you call your colleagues throwing you under a bus, attacking you, name calling you, trying to blackball and ostracize you? What else do you call that? This has been bullying. It's like a group of mean girls bullying the guy they don't like because he crossed an invisible line on a protest he didn't even know existed. It's disgusting. Then we have this individual who was also attacking Takanashi, saying this now: to be a voice actor with social media presence fully aware of a strike seems awfully strange to me. Unaware of a strike. Doesn't matter where you're located, especially if you're getting as big auditions as Genshin. Now, giving the benefit of the doubt, hopefully he steps down from the role now that he's aware. So this person's basically saying you need to get rid of the position because it serves our protest. And also, their infinite narcissism. I'm always embarrassed to see an American do this, where they go out and basically say, what's happening here, you have to know about it in other countries because it's a big deal. Like, no, the world doesn't revolve around an American union. I'm sorry. I think it's very understandable. This individual was not aware of it in the first place, the protest. And also, I think it'd be very understandable if he didn't give a shit because it doesn't affect him. He's in Japan. This is ridiculous. Here's some more people popping off and just coping and seething, but this last part is worth it. Actors have spoken. Most of us support the strike. We want those rights put into place. We want agreements signed. You detractors do not speak for us. I think they're referring to people who don't want to be a part of the union, because who else would they be talking about? Because if you're worried about like YouTubers or random people on X being detractors, don't worry about it because it doesn't really matter, right? At the end of the day, we're not the ones dealing with the union. We're just pointing out a lot of the hypocrisy and blatant lies revolving around the subject. But if you're trying to claim these people don't want to join the union are detractors who shouldn't be spoken for or speak for these people, that's a pretty bad look. But here's another example. Guys, I know we get excited trying to get work, but please don't undercut other actors just to get a role. This industry is hard enough without the advent of AI, but please don't race to the bottom just to land a gig. It's not only hurtful to yourself, but to your fellow VAs. This sounds like someone who probably doesn't have the ability to take a role. I mean, honestly, I feel like that's the case for a lot of these people. They probably just don't have a lot of work right now, so they're just kind of rolling with this and then trying to virtue signal and get a bunch of pity points on social media. And here's the last one for this video. Hashtag tired. Hashtag why am I still doing this? Hashtag whatever that is. And then you have this toxic voice actor tears mug. Classic. Really bringing back the male tears type mug we used to see like with the feminists back like a decade or so ago, like in the early Gamergate days. This is a pretty good point to stop. This is all performative garbage. These people are absolutely insufferable. And like with localizers in anime and manga, there's the threat of AI that's affecting them. And the thing is, it's like, no, AI is not the ideal situation. You want someone who's qualified and doing a good job, a human translator or voice actor, what have you. But believe me, with how obnoxious, whether it's the localizers are or these English voice actors are, nobody's gonna feel sorry for you when you're eventually replaced by other people who are not obnoxious, or you're replaced by AI. And honestly, like I said, they've done so much bad will for themselves over the past couple of years. They've basically made this situation for themselves, and nobody should feel sorry for them. But for now, that's going to do this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.